What's up, gamers? Welcome back to another video. And this video is going to be a little bit of a different type of video than what I usually release. It's going to be a video talking about some things that I would love to see change for Dark and Darker for the next iteration of the playtest. Some things that I think would be nice balances, some nice ideas, and of course, feel free to comment in the comment section below if you agree with some of these ideas I'm going to be sharing, or if you disagree with them, or if you have any ideas of your own. I'd love to hear those. Okay, so I got about 22 points. I'm just going to blast through them very, very quickly. Number 1, bandages sell out after 3 purchases. I found this to be really annoying. Be it you're buying the bulk, batches of 3 at a time, or you're buying singles 3 at a time. The fact that they just run out is just kind of really silly. I don't want to wait until the next match to be able to buy them again. So having the ability to purchase as much as I want would be really nice. The bandages take forever to use anyway, unless you're, of course, like a rogue or a ranger. But it just feels like a block that doesn't need to be there, and I don't really see the downside. Like, if I bring in an inventory full of bandages, like, I don't see how that's throwing off the game. Like, oh cool, the guy who kills me gets a whole bunch of bandages. Like, I don't really see the big significant consequences of diluting the bandage economy by giving us the option to buy as many as I want. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe one of you guys that in the comment section has a great argument about this, but I just found it to be super annoying. If I want to bring in 3 to 4 stacks of bandages, like, that should be my prerogative. Like, I should be able to do that and make that choice and not have that be hindered. Next up, number 2. Don't have a sell all button to sell all treasure to the collector. After raids, especially as rogue, because we're just usually the biggest loot goblins ever, going into the collector and having to individually click every single fucking piece of treasure. Like, in the beginning, when you very first start playing, you're like, oh, this is sick. Like, look how much treasure I have. As the rounds go on, it becomes less sick and more fucking tedious. So I think having a button for the collector where you just hit sell all, and it just takes all items in your inventory marked as treasure and sells them to the collector and gives you gold back. Alternatively, you could just have a button you click, and then you just click the item, and if it has the tag of being treasure, then it just sells all. So the same function, just implemented in a different way. Big quality life improvement there. Next step, number 3. Right click should sell to the merchant vendor without having to click sell button. Just less clicking. Okay, less clicking, less resistance from what I want to do, for where I am, in my end result. It's annoying having to click an extra button. It just is, okay? When you're doing it a lot, it gets to be very, very tedious. So just let me right click instead of having to go all the way over, click the sell tab, and then go all the way back to my inventory and then start fucking putting things over. There's so many times where I just started trying to do that because I'm trying to get into the next round, and I can't. And then I'm like, what the fuck's happening? Like, is the game bugging out? What's going on? And then I realized, oh yeah, I forgot to hit the goddamn sell tab. So just let us right click whatever our items are, and it just automatically sells. Get rid of that resistance. Next up, number 4, dragonfly damage. Listen, I have almost had a goddamn heart attack, an aneurysm, a fucking stroke by the amount of times that dragonflies have fucked me over, especially as a melee only class like rogue. You don't really have a way to deal with it. Even with throwing knives, like, throwing knives are pretty challenging to land shots on the dragonfly itself. The dragonfly is moving. It's just like, take the damage, the poison damage way down. I don't know who's in charge of poison damage at the fucking dev headquarters, but goddamn, we need to, like, keep an eye on that guy, okay? Like, reduce the dragonfly damage at least 50%, and let's see how that feels. That's a good place to start, man. It's ridiculous. Number 5. So I have some perk ideas here. Obviously, they're for rogue because that's what I'm playing the most. So, sad face to all the other classes. Perk to decrease rogue hide cooldown by 12 seconds. The majority of the rogue perks are pretty cool. Ambush, backstab, creep. Sorry, not creep. What am I talking about? Stealth. Creep is a joke. Hold on, I'm adding that to the list. Hold up a second. Shit. Right. So I think having more options is just cool for all classes. That goes for all classes, not just rogue. But here's one of the ones I think would be nice. Have a perk that just reduces the cooldown. I know the cooldown got nerfed a little, or buffed. I guess depends on how you really want to look at that. So it's a little bit shorter. It's like, what is it, 5 seconds shorter? I don't know. They did something to make it a little bit shorter, but I think having a perk to really take it down like a sizable amount, 12 seconds, I feel like that's good. 20 might be too much, 6, 7, it just doesn't feel like enough. 12 felt really good for me as a number when I first, checked in with the gut. Take a sip of Waterloo there. Okay, next up. Number 6. Perk to let rogues see in the smokescreen clouds. When you pop smokescreen, cool idea. I actually like the idea. I didn't really use much of it. I experimented with it a bit this time around, but it never did what you want it to do, honestly. So, and as I say that, I just thought of another kind of buff that I will put down. So, yeah, when you pop the smokescreen, it's like fucking an octopus sprayed you in the face in the ocean. Like, you can't see shit. So I think having it a perk to let you see in the cloud would be advantageous. And maybe even so the perk not only lets you see in the smokescreen, but expanding the radius of the smokescreen as well, just to give it like even more value, even more incentive for you to use smokescreen. So it puts this big blanketing field to either cover, your team's escape, or to trap a whole team, like your invis stealth. You crawl up to the team while they're in battle, you pop the smokescreen, and then you're just killing fucking everybody. And everybody's like pressured to get out of the smokescreen. I think that would be really, really nice. Next up. Number 7. Rogue perk to store 2 charges of hide. I think this would be pretty awesome. Being able to pop a hide, come in, deal some damage, and then be able to pop a hide and get out. Right? You successfully kill somebody, or reposition to try to kill again. I think this would be a top tier, S tier fucking perk, and it would fit in nicely with all the other ones and compete really nicely with all the other really great perks. Maybe have a condition to it, right? If that sounds too OP, maybe like if you kill somebody within 30 seconds or something like that after you bust out of your hide, then it automatically gives you a hide charge back. Maybe do it that way. So maybe not let you carry 2 charges if that's too powerful. Maybe just let you reset a charge after getting a successful kill. That could be kind of nice. Something like that. Next up, for Rogue Smokescreen, this is just kind of like a tweak, not a perk. Enemies walking through it should have their screen get this little, like, smoke effect, so it's kind of like fucking up their screen a bit, and it makes them cough, like if they're going through a gas cloud for a few seconds after they exit and while they're in the smokescreen cloud. I think that could be nice. Next up, number 9, make invisibility potions last longer, and add an invisibility potion type that lets you move for a short time, but they're like way more rare, way more expensive. Maybe give it so like the invisibility potions are white, maybe give the ones that let you move like a white, I don't know, some other little sheen or color tint change, because it just felt like not enough time. I think this might be a little radical, but I think just doubling all the base values currently for the invisibility potions. You need them to primarily you need them to get the fuck away from people, right? And they're loud, like people can hear you drinking it. They tend to be hard to use, so when I'm able to use them, I want to get a lot of value from them. I don't want them to just barely last any sort of time whatsoever and then they're fucking gone. Like, it just doesn't seem enough value, like, for what it does. I even saw a Reddit post calling them like cum potions or something like that. Like, there's such a derision and just an overall vibe of like, this is useless. Why is this here? outlook toward invis pots. Okay, so make them better and add another type that allows you to move. That one should definitely be short. You know, it should literally be used to flank, you know, get into position to attack or get out of position to attack very stealthily. That's it. So, you know, making those 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 25 seconds, like, you know, plus 5 seconds perhaps each tier up, and make them hell of expensive and hella rare. Like, you're not able to buy them. Like, you got to loot them from the dungeon. That could be cool. Next up, number 10. Buff Caltrops. They're fucking useless. I hated using Caltrops. They're hard to see. So it's like you step on them. When you set them, it like sets behind you, which I not a fan of. Like, I guess the idea is you throw them down as you're running away, but I never did that. Like, I would love for rogues be able to use hunting traps. Like, have them also have access to traps. Like, they can see traps. They're good at disarming traps. They're fast. Like, it makes sense that they would have access to those types of items. It just, the times I used Caltrops, I immediately regretted it. I was like, this is terrible. I'm never using this again. That was my initial thought. So buff them. I don't know how you'd buff them, but buff them. They need a buff. Maybe don't make them a skill. Make them something you bring in as an item, and then make their effectiveness like much, much better. Treat them like hunting traps in a way, like give them, you know, X amount of charges so you can use them to help you take down mobs, or make them a sizable like hindrance for people. But also you should have the option to, like, make them a little bit more visible, okay? Because they're like fucking, they just blend in with the floor so well right now. And then if you interact with, like, give people an option to interact with them to, like, you know, sweep them away or something, right? Like kick them away, like get rid of it, like the hunting trap. Be able to disarm it if you are moving through the dungeon. I'm assuming it also works for being able to see traps, that perk for the rogue. If it doesn't, it should. And then if you step on them, they should have a much more severe penalty. It should cause more damage. It should, you know, fuck you up, apply bleeding, make you slow. Like, have it, again, give more value. It's just not enough right now. Just not enough. Next up, number 11. A cleric perk to use meds faster and revive faster. Revive might be a little bit much. And I know it already has a perk that lets you revive faster, but it's still incredibly fucking slow. So maybe I'd change that actually to using meds faster and also using shrines faster. I think that would be really nice. Next up, number 12. General perks, like one to let you loot faster. So what do I mean by that? I mean, there should be like a pool of perks that just all classes have access to allow different builds. So they're not restricted to class-specific perks. They're like general perks. So, for instance, in this example I'm giving is, you know, for a barb, you could take a perk that anybody has access to, anybody could use, that lets you, that buffs your interaction speed by like 20-25%. So now you can open doors and chests a lot faster. You don't necessarily have to take Smash. You could then just take that and make your life a little easier. Or give it to a ranger or rogue to make them even better at setting campfires, even quicker at opening doors, shutting doors, fucking, you know, whatever, looting bodies, opening chests. Having some perks like that just to mix things up, I think would be really cool. Next up, number 13, excuse me. Reflect spell for wizard that lasts a short time and sends spells cast at them back towards the user. It seems fun. There's an old school game called Morrowind, and there's a spell in there called Reflect that basically, when you get hit by a spell, it deals damage back to the person who sent it to you. It's kind of a cool idea. I think it would make for some epic content. You know, fireball comes zooming your way, you know, towards your team. Your team's wizard casts Reflect. They jump in front of the fireball. It gets redirected. Like, that would just make for some funny, cool moments, I think. Next up, number 14. Not enough time in lower dungeons to fight everything and loot without feeling extremely pressured, which isn't very fun. This was super fucking annoying. I know a lot of people go in Infernal, have a lot of success, holy shit, with it. This, like, was the main deterrent. If this was gone, I would be going into Infernal all day, every day. It would be so awesome. And the fact that when you go there, it's like you have 6 fucking minutes to do everything. It's like you can't really fight the boss and clear the dungeon and loot. It's like everything takes so much time. Everything is harder to kill, which is also increasing the amount of time. The one run we did, with Cody and Ghost, I think. It took us like 3 minutes to clear the first fucking area with like gargoyles and mummies and skeletons and shit. It was a nightmare, dude. We almost all died. And we had pretty good gear. And then by that time, it's like, okay, circle's closing. Like, can't even have time to loot the chests. Like, we just got to go now. That's not fun. I hate that. Make the time the same amount of time as the normal level 2 dungeon when you go into level 3. If we're just going to decrease the time every single time you go to a lower level, I don't want to go. I just want to, like fine. I just, like I did last playtest, I just resigned myself to, like, cool, the base dungeons. Fuck Infernal, base dungeons. It's too much risk. Plus, added to the fact, not only is there not enough time to loot everything, fight everything, do the boss, you're feeling fucking pressured. Everything's 10 times harder. Not only that, but then the amount of portals that you get and the chance that you get a portal spawning in a position where you can fucking get it is so goddamn random that it's like, I don't even want to, like, not enough risk for a reward. And the loot you get out of the chest, out of the, off the drops, compared to the risk you're taking going down there, not even factoring in if other people are there, is just like colossally high, man. It's ridiculous. Like, there needs to be more portals. I don't want to be punished for clearing a dungeon successfully, looting, and not getting enough portals. I don't like that feeling. That's fucking shitty. And I don't like feeling pressured. That's not adding to the fun. I want to have enough time to clear stuff, loot. If I die, cool, I die. But at least I'm not dying to, like, the clock, which is so fucking silly, okay? This one has me the most triggered because the Infernal dungeon is cool. I like the idea of going down to a lower dungeon. Things are harder. There's more risk involved. But, like, these things are just unnecessary, volatile risk added to the portfolio that I don't want to fuck with. I just don't want to fuck with it. So please fix that, please. Next up, number 15. Add a basic spellbook for Wizard. This might trigger a lot of people. I know Wizard has the highest skill ceiling, and they are the most will kill you so fast you're dead class out of all of them, I think. They're the most annoying to fight when they're really, really good and know what they're doing. But hey, if you're that person anyway, what the fuck is a basic spellbook going to do? Yeah, it's going to quicken your curve of getting loot a little bit faster, but like you're going to get there anyway. So I feel like for newer players, the Wizard's so goddamn slow with the staff, the movement, interaction speed, everything. Just give them a basic spellbook, bro. Just get in the, they get their staff so they can hit stuff and break stuff, like pots and shit, and then give them a basic spellbook just to help them be a little bit quicker. Help the newer players out. Next up, number 16. Give sound notifications when everyone is ready. So when everybody's sitting in the lobby and everybody readies up, so obviously not the host because they don't have to ready up, but the other two players, when they ready up, or whoever, the max party amount, if it's 1 or 2 extra players, when they ready up, it creates a sound notification letting the person know. Because there's been so many times that I've been like on fucking scrolling on Instagram waiting for everybody to like, okay, go sell your shit in the trade menu, go rebuy your bandages, go sell your treasure, go get your new fucking items. It's the whole process. And there's been so many instances where it's like everyone's ready, nobody's saying shit, I'm on my phone, and then eventually I look up and I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers. So just give a sound notification. That would easily be like, oh, bing, cool, everyone's ready. And if I try to start the game, signal to everybody that sound notification as well. So if they're taking too long, I'm gonna be like, okay, hit the start button, send you a little notification saying, motherfucker, ready up, stop taking forever. Next up, number 17. Don't move my potions from my inventory to my hotbar automatically when I'm cycling through my hotbar. If I have 2 open slots in just my, or like a torch, pack of torches, and bandages, and I'm cycling through that in my hotbar, but I actually hit it one more time, I cycle too fast, and I go to that 3rd empty spot, I don't then want you to take blue potions from my inventory and put them in automatically to my 3rd slot. Stop that. For Rogue, it's hella annoying if you're not running the Hidden Pockets perk, because it's just like lighting your Rogue up in the dark like a Christmas tree. But even if you're not playing Rogue and it's just other classes, like then I have to go over there if I don't want that in that spot and drag it down. Like, why is it automatically doing that? That's super annoying. Please get rid of that. Like, it's not making my life easier. It's making things more tedious and annoying and a hassle. So please remove that. Next up, number 18. A perk to decrease mob aggro range for the Rogue. And this also could be a general perks if we're adding that to the game as well. Just make it like decreased. So when I walk by a skeleton, it doesn't automatically trigger it unless I get pretty close. I think that could be cool. Help with the stealth rogue builds, avoiding combat, that kind of thing. Next, number 19, private games. I think this is a great idea. Having a private server you're able to start and invite people to. Maybe you have to reserve it. Maybe it's a built-in part of the game. I don't know. I'd rather have it be a built-in part of the game so you can play with your friends. And it would just be able, it would boost the content so well in a certain direction. Imagine having a private game full of all your friends, and you're all streaming, and you just make some hella sick montages and clips and highlights out of that, where you're fighting with your friends or with big time streamers. You know, having like Mr. Beast, Ninja, Asmongold, fucking So Bad. They're all in one lobby competing. Like, those would make for some epic videos, and you can't get those unless you guys just happen to meet each other in the dungeon. And when that happens, that's cool for sure. But being able to do it deliberately, having tournaments, being able to create your own tournaments with your friends or your Discord community, like, I would love to do that. Give a cash prize just within our own little community as a way to you know, just hype the community up, build the community up, celebrate being in the community, have it be a bonding experience. That's dope. The downside, whatever that might be, just does not seem worth the upside. The upside is like too great, too much free content marketing, too much fun, like, and it could be like its own fucking esport. Like, there's just, add that. That's all I'm gonna say. Just fucking add it. Number 20, discount for buying meds in bulk. Bro, I'm buying more of your shit, Mr. Bandage Man. I forget what he's all called. The Surgeon, Mr. Surgeon. Like, give me a fucking discount. If I'm buying 15, right, no, if I'm buying 3 sets of bandages, right, each one costing 5 gold, it shouldn't then cost 15 fucking gold. It should cost like 12 gold, right? Like, give me some sort of discount. Incentivize me for buying in bigger amounts. Next up, number 21, fixed value gap between basic meds and next tier up. This drove me insane. So the last playtest, not the last, but the last playtest, I basically was just like, you know, it's the last 2 hours of the playtest. I'm like, cool, like, let me just burn all my money and buy all these crazy expensive bandages because the gold's going down anyway. Like, there's no point. After like 6 runs of buying, you know, maybe 3 stacks of what do you call it? Like the most expensive bandage I could get, I had like drained half my gold reserves, and I had like 2,500, maybe 3K. So much of that went to the bandages. I was blown the fuck away, and I didn't really feel the benefit when I went into the match. I was like, oh, this is kind of shitty. Like, damn, it not enough value. Once again, not enough value. If the basic bandage is 5 gold, I'm not positive on this, I'm just kind of trying to remember from memory. If it's 5 gold and heals, I think, 10 health, and the next bandage up is 10 gold, or no, I think it might even be fucking 15 gold, actually. 15 gold, but only heals 15. That is not fucking worth it, okay? So what you could do is add automatically 3 charges to the 5 gold basic bandage. So you're healing 30 health, right, over time if you use all the charges. Costs only 5 gold. If you go for the 15, still fucking feels overpriced, but Jesus Christ, just give 3 charges per single purchase of a bandage. Because the price difference is just insane. Like, there needs to be more value when you go up a tier. It's just not worth it right now. It's just not fucking worth it at all. And it's too much of a gold investment. Like, it's just not good. Okay, there's too much of a discrepancy in value when you go up tiers. Like, it's so much more, you're so much more incentivized to just get basic bandages, basic pots. Like, everything is just super expensive as you go up. So, make it better. Next up, number 22, Goblin Archers. Love the Goblin solo dungeon. Very cool. Enjoy it. I hope they bring it back. What I did not like is the Goblin fucking Archers. If you get hit by one of these things, half your health, especially as a rogue, you're just done. Like, that's it. That's probably all of your meds that you brought in, if you're playing, you know, conservatively with what you're bringing in. That's fucking stupid. you can't really avoid them. Like, you can probably avoid a couple of the shots, but then to getting close, like, it's hard to cheese them. Like, if you're going to take them on, you're probably going to get hit. And that's not even counting in, the other mobs that are probably around the Goblin Archer. Like, Skeleton Archers are already a fucking pain in the ass as a rogue. Then you add the poison in, it's just way too much, okay? So there needs to be some change there. Like, make the hit tracking for your fucking head to be, like, less consistent so that you can actually dodge these attacks, get in close, hit, run, be able to dodge. Because right now they got, like, a fucking aimbot. Or make them, the time between they fire the next arrow, like, much longer. Make them have to reload, and if they already do reload, make it fat or slower. Excuse me. I don't know. Something needs to change though, because it was a pain in the. I just avoided those areas. I just did not go where there were Goblin Archers. It's too much punishment for what you're able to get. Fuck that room. I don't want to check any of those urns, any of the goddamn chests. Just avoid it. Just avoid it. Too powerful. Way too OP. Okay. Nerf them into the fucking ground. Or just maybe even take away the poison. Like, that might do it, because then you could bring blue pots to counteract that. But blue pots don't protect you from poison. You're getting fucked up if you take one of those shots. Maybe just get rid of the poison. Maybe start there, see how that feels, and then if need be, keep on nerfing. Keep the nerf train going. Next up, number 23, creep. Nobody's taking creep. If they are, it's a mistake. They don't understand the value of the other perks as rogue. Make creep make you completely silent, okay? Or you have to get real close to them for them to fucking hear you, and even then, it's very, very muffled. The whole point of taking creep is that you are now a fucking ninja. So it should do that. It should take, it should make your silent footsteps completely quiet no matter what, no matter if you're right on top of the motherfuckers, okay? Because you're sacrificing the extra move speed and the armor protection to be completely quiet. And then maybe if you get some, like, Lightfoot boots, or no, if you get shoes, maybe then it decreases it by like 70%. And then if you have like some heavy boots, maybe 50%. But the point I'm making is it needs to be significant more value for using creep, because it's not worth the perk slot for the other perks that you can get. It's just weak. It's watered down. Buff it. Make it super viable. So when I use this thing, I feel quiet. I'm not worried about my footsteps alerting players in a radius unless they have that Ranger, hear better perk. Like, if I take this, I should feel confident that I'm getting the drop on people. And I don't. I don't currently, so please fix that. Lastly, number 24. Smokescreen should slow way more. Now, the idea of using smokescreen is like you go in, you pop it, and then you're a menace because they can't see you. But then you can't see either. So that's why I suggested the perk earlier, letting you see in the smoke cloud. I think that would make it more effective. The smoke cloud isn't really that big. Now, the thing I do like about smokescreen is that the cooldown is pretty low, so you'll get it back fairly quickly. But like, there were times when, okay, I'm running away from a barb, and I'm like, haha, I'm going through a doorway, I'm gonna pop smokescreen, and then I win. That's not how that went. He was basically on my ass the entire time, even after I fucking popped smokescreen. So I feel like there should be an initial period once you pop the smokescreen that, like, if you go in that smokescreen, you are getting slowed like a motherfucker. Like the first, 6 seconds, right? Or 3 seconds, whatever. It basically immobilizes people in that smokescreen. It's like rooting them down. They are slow as fuck. And it lingers for maybe a couple seconds after they exit the cloud. And it's significant. It's like 90% slow. Like a stupid, ridiculous amount of slow. And then as the cloud persists after that initial window of like, 5 seconds, whatever, anybody going in it then gets a pretty sizable slow as well, maybe like 50%. So you really, really feel it when you go through, and it lasts a little while after you leave. But it's not as intense as that first initial, burst of 5 seconds. So that you can go in, pop it to disrupt, maybe like 3 different parties are fighting. You go in, pop it, like everyone's fucked up now. They're all rooted for 5 seconds. Or you go in invis, and your team's kind of trailing behind you closely. You pop it, you root them, and then they can kind of pelt or the area with arrows or fire some fireballs in there. And obviously this shouldn't affect you. It should only affect enemies and not your teammates as well. and then you run away and give them a chance to just bombard the fucking area, right? Artillery strike. Or you're running away and you pop it, and now you are guaranteed to get away. That would make smokescreen viable. Because right now, you're taking, you're sacrificing a lot to use smokescreen. You're either getting rid of poison weapons, or you're getting rid of hide. And hide's just like too damn good of an ability to sacrifice, I think. Or weak point, right? You're getting rid of that as well, that ability. You're sacrificing these things for smokescreen. And smokescreen is just consistently letting you down right now. So it needs these buffs, I think, to make a smokescreen build work, be effective, be viable, and be fun. Oh, and lastly, number 25, we'll throw a bonus one in. I would love for the solo bosses to be able to be taken on as a solo. I tried fighting the fucking troll boss and died in like 5 seconds with great gear, tons of meds. I just got fucked up as rogue. I think every class should be able to take on the boss solo. There should be more of like the classic boss fighting, you know, like if you can just memorize the moves, like it still takes some skill, but once you understand their pattern of attacks, like you can avoid them. You have time to avoid them. Like it's just too goddamn brutal, too grueling, too much risk for very little reward. Like it should just be a very predictable fight. Like you know what you're getting into. You know it's doable. Obviously, there's risk of like, okay, if other players come in, that's gonna be like I might be fucked there. If I make a mistake, I might take a lot of damage. But like it should just mainly be like a time investment with some skill. But currently, it's like overwhelming, crushing skill that unless you cheese it somehow, I heard some rangers were able to cheese somehow, or like wizards, like I can't fucking remember exactly what it was, but there was some way of you know, glitching him to death. But I don't fucking know any, but like none of my friends killed the troll boss, especially as a solo. Like I think the people that did, they might have been in a group, they partied up with somebody. That's just not fun. It's like, okay, cool, like I don't get to fight the boss. Like that's just not something I do as solo. Like I just do the goblin dungeon, and then maybe just hear stories about people killing the troll boss, and like, you know, look at that fondly, and that's what I get, right? Like live vicariously through these stories. Like that sucks. The boss should be able to be killed by anybody. It should be a little difficult, a little challenging, but not soul crushing. And it's fucking soul crushing right now. I mean, it's a solo fucking dungeon, right? Like that's why you're there. Like for the regular dungeon, that's built for trios. It's built for parties. So I can understand that it would be much harder. And I even think that those regular bosses are still too fucking hard. But I get that you need like a party to do those. Like that makes sense. But for the solo boss, like goddamn, dude, like make it doable. Make it fairly easy. It's a time investment. That's the main thing, and some skill. And you're worried about other people coming in and stealing your kill and fucking killing you. Like that should be the main thing. Like it should be a challenge, but it shouldn't be so goddamn difficult like it is right now. So that's it. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you all you patrons. I didn't give like the direct shout outs or throw up the card this time because it's not like a gameplay video, and that's what I'm gonna reserve that for. But I just want to make this video because these are some things I noticed that like if they changed, I would like Dark and Darker even more. I mean, it's even as is, it's a fucking amazing game. Like the best game I've played in my entire life. It is top tier. But I think this could just take it just that much further. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, if you agreed with some of these ideas, if you disagreed with them, and how you would change them to make them better, or what you would add to the game. Comment below. Love to have a discussion with you. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Hope you have a good day.